Hey guys, back again on day 22 of my weight loss journey. I'm out here today with the Adidas AlphaEdge 4D and the black iridescent colorway. It's 31 degrees out here, but it is sunny. It's a beautiful day. I want to go ahead and give some feedback on these shoes for an instant impression. I've been walking in them about 5 minutes now, and they feel like rocks. They're not very forgiving at all. Let's take a quick look aesthetically. I don't think they're bad or anything like that. I do think that it was a neat concept because of the layered printing that they've got going on. In addition to that, it's very heavy. It's an extremely heavy shoe. Doesn't look like it because it really looks like one of the pairs of dad shoes you can just slip on and be really lightweight, but now these are pretty heavy. I don't know exactly what my foot width is, but it's on that verge of being a wide foot, and these are for me, I would describe them as a tight fit, but it wasn't too much trouble getting on. I just kind of had to squeeze it in, and so just a little bit of work, but for the most part it wasn't too bad. The insole that came with it is just a flimsy piece of crap, and I went ahead and replaced that with an insole that more serves as an orthotic. It gives a little bit more cushion in the back heel, and definitely a lot more rigidity in the arch. There's quite a difference from going from the shoe yesterday, the Automax, which has a huge air bubble in the heel, to these shoes here, which are lower to the ground and definitely a lot stiffer. So I'm not a big fan of that. These remind me of the feeling I would get from the early Air Maxes, just with a lower heel. Once you're in the shoe, I do find it to be really comfortable, much like a sock, and it looks that way anyway. I could see where a pair of shoes like this would be really good for some wild trail walks or some light hiking, because you would want more rigidity in the foot. You're stepping on twigs and everything, and you need that stability there underfoot, whereas most of the walking I'm doing are on paved trails. So I'm looking more for a cushioned ride, and these shoes just aren't it, you know. Yesterday I reported that my plantar fasciitis had not really been aggravated by the Automax shoes, and while that was true during the walk, when I got home and I laid down and just got off my feet for a little while, I instantly stepped back down and back to the limping again. So this is just kind of an ongoing thing, an ongoing battle, and hopefully I can find a combination of stretches and exercises, massages, whatever I need to kind of alleviate some of this pain, but who knows. Today was my weigh-in day, and I really was not looking forward to it at all, because I had about three and a half to 4 days of really just fell into bad habits with my eating and lack of exercise and all of that. And though I had done some measures that had reduced calorie intake, like for the most part I was still drinking water, I still was trying to not allow myself to eat it late at night and all of that. I was trying to take all that into account. With all that said, I still wasn't looking forward to today, but I got on the scale this morning, and somehow, some way, I dropped 2.4 pounds. So for me, that's fantastic. So I'm at 258 pounds currently, getting me to the 250s, and that's just, for me, that's wonderful right now. I haven't really been tracking my macros or anything like that. In the morning, I'm pretty much starting off with 3 eggs and a bowl of oatmeal with some blueberries, and then if I'm still hungry, I will do some egg whites with spinach in it and just a little bit of cheese. And then at that point, breakfast carries me through a lot of the day. At lunch, sometimes I don't even really want to eat, but most of the time I'll go ahead and eat something, and usually that centers around just chicken breasts and some broccoli and sometimes some quinoa. And then the dinner is kind of just whatever, because I have a family. We center our meals together, so it just comes down to what my little boy might want to eat or what she's in the mood for, stuff like that. This past week, though, we were able to try some factor meals, and that really helped on the portion control. And we, going in and selecting the food, and then having it shipped was really nice and convenient. The sodium intake on all of those meals, though, were pretty high, but other than that, I believe the ingredients they were using were supposed to be good, but they were very convenient, knowing that you have a meal ready there and it's going to be ready in 2 minutes. Was really nice and convenient. The only problem I find with it is, for us and our family at this point in time, it's just really too unsustainable from a cost perspective, because the meals come out to, from what we were selecting, if we chose 7 meals each for just myself and my wife, and not even allowing, just meals for the kid other than what we get from the grocery store, we're still paying about $14 a meal. And the company Factor is working from a disadvantage because they have to package those meals, pay for all of that packaging, shipping, and then the marketing to increase their business. So basically, the value for what you get for the meal is essentially cut in half. And what I mean by that is, if I were to compare it to, say, a microwavable meal that you got from Kroger or a Walmart or something like that, those meals would be, the Factor meals would be about $8 worth of what those meals cost. And typically at those stores, if you up the level of what you pay, $5 or $6, you get a pretty decent meal. Well, Factor is a little bit better than that, but it's not exponentially better. So it's about an $8 value on a meal, 10 at most, and yet you're still paying the 14. And I totally understand the convenience factor too, because time is money, and you're saving money not going to the grocery and all that. But just from a budget standpoint, $14 a meal is just too much for us to be able to handle. So unfortunately, we won't be able to resume that. But if you find that you do have the budget for something like that, I think that it's a wonderful program. Their website is a little bit shady and stuff, and how it's all set up, but for the most part, like, everything still worked out great, and the food came in, and I thought every meal was delicious. My wife, I think there was 1 out of 7 she wasn't the biggest fan of, but for the most part, really good food, and you're paying for convenience. Getting back to the shoes, the shoes are very robust. They're at the bottom. I told you before they were heavy, but one of the reasons why is because there's traction, rubber traction all the way there on the bottom, on the outsole. So you have that rubber tread. I think it's Continental rubber. So you have exceptional grip. And a lot of running shoes, which I really don't advise you to run in these, but a lot of running shoes will, strip away all of that and only really give you tread in the areas where you absolutely need it. And then they do that to lighten the shoe up, but it leaves a lot of exposed foam. But the grip in these shoes are great. So it is, it's a sock shoe. It's very form-fitting, and it is kind of built to be rugged, at least from the outsole perspective. Unfortunately, though, because of the way the shoe is designed and the fact that it's not really giving me anything back on the energy return, it just feels like rocks on the feet. I'm gonna head home a little bit earlier on this walk, because the feeling just is not great. They're not enjoyable to really walk in. I do see purpose in these shoes, but this just isn't it, this morning, after I got the results that I got, I sat down on the couch. My little boy was getting ready for school, and I had previously mentioned in one of the videos that he didn't really want me to lose my belly. I don't know why, but I sat there and I said, I've lost 10 pounds, or it wasn't 10 pounds. I've lost about 11 to 12 pounds. And he looked down, he said, but you're still big. Yeah. Your belly's still big. Now, if that's not a motivator, I don't know what is. I think that's going to sum it up. If any of you all are trying to lose weight, you're going through a similar journey, let me know in the comments below. If you know of another meal service plan that might be just a little bit more affordable than Factor, let me check that out as well. Just let me know. But thanks for dropping by. See you all hopefully tomorrow.